Hello, hello, it's FriYAY. FriYAY, y'all, part 2 of crazy keto claims debunked. It was such a big hit last week, we wanted to bring it to you again. So, got my partner in crime, Dr. Heather, jumping on here. All right, invite her on. What's up? Uh-oh. I can't hear you. Make sure I'm on. Yep, I'm on. Can anybody hear Dr. Heather? Give me a poop emoji if you can't hear her. Or a thumb down. I cannot hear you. Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
So it must be, and you're not very loud, it must be the microphone. I can't get you loud. Let me try the headset one more time.
I've never been told that before. Oh.
Can you hear me now? Hold on a second. We're still testing 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you.
Awesome. I can hear you too.
I got my keto arm.
Well, I have yoga love on. It's a yoga type of day.
It's a little different from keto arm. So it's not as
I think
army and love.
Yeah. When I put my my clamp on, I think it hits the mute button on my phone. Okay. Good?
Yeah, we don't want you muted.
Maybe you
we
do.
Good? We solved. Awesome. Okay. Well, they loved our FriYAY and our keto debunking. So let's bring it again. I got some crazy ones again this week. It's not that crazy. Actually, this week I have some very good questions. I feel like I still want your real reaction. Like, you can laugh at me like you do sometimes if it's not a good question. So
Hey,
have you
say that again.
Have you had a good week?
Yeah, super busy. I mean, it's crazy. 2 years ago, I would say 20 years ago, I was saying the word high fat, and people would say, please don't tell me high fat again. And then 10 years ago, people there were some people who would get into high fat. And then 36 months ago, people okay, paleo, low carb, the RPS, all the CrossFit world, they were saying a little bit more about fat, grass-fed butter, coconut oil. And now, now 36 months to date, Trina's on there, Holly's on there. Trina's got a great keto connection group. So it's everybody. It's now I'm the in kid. I'm not the outcast, but I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of common keto killers out there that probably need to rethink what they're doing.
Well, why don't then you start it off with your top 2 that are just in here in the gut going, oh, that's so not right. What is it this week? What's been coming at you?
You know what? I think, I had a call today. If I have all my own fat, right, I should be able to make my own ketones. Why are you suggesting people take a ketone supplement? And, I'm a farm girl from Kansas. I've always talked about supplementation. Why not give your body a gift and make the process a little easier? Why not even have to go through the carb flu if you want to transition over? Or the other thing is, that's number 1 is, yes, it's okay to take it if you're not on a ketogenic diet, if you want the amazing benefits of ketones, which is our natural fuel source. It's how we came into the world. The second, I would say maybe the number 1 keto killer is stress. So on a true ketogenic diet, if you're a mom and you've got kids getting up in the middle of the night, or teenage kids getting home late, or maybe you've got a new puppy, or maybe your alarm goes off, or maybe you get fired from your job, or there's a wreck and you're gonna be late for work, to pick up the kids, that stress thing will almost every time, number 1, besides hormones and the perfect diet, will take you out of natural ketosis. So if you know your life is stressful, which most of us are, and we know that the world is toxic, why not have your body have the experience of being in ketosis in a non-perfect world, or a non-perfect gut flora, or non-perfect biome? I mean, it's just, I guess I get attacked as well. Like, why would you have someone do that? Well, the same reason I have someone take iron if I thought they were iron deficient, or take B vitamins if I thought they needed B vitamins, or cinnamon if they thought they needed to help handle the blood sugar. Now I can say I've got an amazing tool. So I am in the cool kid group with a lot of people, but also I think someone told me, Ted Teakin from Keto and Company said, if we put all the people who are in ketosis in one state, we might fill Minnesota. So if you take all the population of the US, we know a lot of Scandinavian countries are in ketosis, and Canada and Mexico, but if in the US, we would only fill one state. We got a lot of work to do.
We're fat and we're sick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Love that movie.
So you named, I was going to go there. I was going to go there and you took it there. You named, because one of the common things I get is, why would I take ketones if I'm in ketosis? And I just am like, yeah, right. Have you tested your blood every 4 hours throughout the day? Do you know how hard it is to get there? What are the other, let's say, top 3 things besides stress that take somebody out of a natural, endogenous, where your own body's making the ketones because you're on such a restrictive diet with half you who say you are, you're not. But go ahead. What are the other 3 things that would knock someone out of ketosis, even if they were a perfect angel doing the diet just exactly right for their body?
So stress is such a big umbrella, but I would say excessive caffeine or artificial sweeteners, because they mess with your biome. And again, if your macros happen to be off, what happens is people will calculate their macros, and then maybe they lose 10 or 15 pounds of fat, or they increase muscle weight. They forget to recalculate their macros, so their body goes out. So I would say excessive things like caffeine or artificial sweeteners. And the second one, not calculating their macros. And honestly, they can change. Our hormones change every minute of the hour of the day, that our macros will change as our body changes. So if you're putting on extra lean muscle mass, maybe 15 or 20 pounds, you forget to calculate that, or you forget to calculate your macros a day that you're not working out. So I think it's just all those number things if you're not getting it right. Because again, you can have the perfect diet, the organic salmon, the perfect broccoli, the grass-fed butter from your backyard, but if you're putting extra sweetener, having too many fat coffees, that stuff can actually throw you right out pretty quick.
I mean, I'm thrown out by the time I wake up 1 hour later, because I drink about 16 ounces, 20 ounces of coffee, not because I need it, but because I love my cup of coffee. So I'm knocked out of ketosis by like 7 a.m. But I will say, people are missing the target. Because for me, the liberation and the joy of switching to high fat, low carb was that I'm not counting macros anymore. I'm not tracking calories. I did that for years in the competitive bodybuilding world. I don't want to touch that stuff. It was a mental mind trap. So for me, it's like I'm talking to all these people and I'm like, yeah, but you're not doing keto to the extreme, so you're not producing ketones, so you're not feeling amazing. That's it comes in as a supplement to help you on the lifestyle.
So I think that was super important you said, because someone just made a comment that we're not facilitating eating a garbage diet or eating crappage. We're saying use it as a tool to reduce the sugar cravings, because sugar cravings are more addictive than heroin. Use it to help get through that energy, get yourself off some of those food. We're not saying be the smoker and wear the patch where you drink the ketones and eat the donut. We're saying that if it happens and it's a birthday, or you eat too many nuts, or you undersleep, overwork out, that's an amazing tool to use to get your body back in balance and stay in balance. So we're not saying drink it and eat the bowl of ice cream, or drink it and do that, because someone had said that. So, and I know that I'm going to call it out, Prove It has a native style of eating, and we do promote healthy lifestyles. However, it's very hard, even with the perfect diet. And again, people have holidays. People want to have grandma's pumpkin pie. It doesn't mean you have to have the stuffing and the bread and the rolls, but definitely have the butter. So it's just about balance, I think, and about people having a little more metabolic flexibility. Even Dr. Dom himself says, I love having extra exogenous ketones because I can have a few ounces of extra steak, and he loves his steak. So I remember him saying that, I can actually now have 4 or 5 extra ounces of my steak and have my ketones, or I can work over in the lab for 4 or 5 hours extra and still keep my body balanced. So it's about balance. It is about healthy eating. So just to clarify that, we're not saying eat the garbage. I'm not saying
No,
eat the
and
garbage.
we can't help what other people are doing. And it's kind of the same as, you know, I guess if it fits your macros, that like there's a way to get lean with it when you're counting like that, but there is a way to abuse the heck out of your body putting that stuff in there too. So, and I am not ketogenic. I'm not going back to that restrictive state, but 80% of the week I'm intra-fasting. I'm high in the high fat, moderate protein, low carb, other 2 meals of the day. And like, if me and my daughter want to go outside and do a s'more, like that for me is living, because I came from such a place of entrapment and restriction and never allowed myself to have fellowship with people in the food sense. So it's for me, it's 80-20, and the ketones keep me feeling amazing throughout the day as I do the best I can. So I could go, that's my rabbit hole. I could go down that rabbit hole hard. So,
but Abigail, think about this. Think about, you know, a child who's maybe epileptic, or someone who maybe has ADHD or has autism, and you can Google ketones and autism, and you will find 12 full pages of Google information about how it helps. When I was at the Ketogenic Therapies Conference, the Charlie Foundation even has a big information about ketones and the brain health. So we know a child can't calculate macros. They grow while they're sleeping. So you can't keep up with the macros and count every nut and seed. So it's an amazing way to get the benefits without having to, again, have another restriction for a child. But the same thing's true with our older generation. As our grandmas or great grandparents get older, they're not running, they're not working out at the gym, they're not wearing Lululemon, their lives are different. Maybe you have a fractured knee and you can't go walk for, 4 or 5 weeks. You can still get the anti-inflammatory benefit and the neurological benefit without having to calculate every single macro. Again, I'm still going to say I'm not going to have the s'more. People know I know how to make a keto s'more. Maria's got a great recipe for it. So I'm still going to stay on this side of the fence, but you can be low carb if you choose to be vegan, if you choose to be kosher. Before, I couldn't get vegan and vegetarians into ketosis if they wanted to be. It was just so tremendously hard. And especially with all the food allergies going on, it's an tool to use to bridge that gap.
Right. And I meet so many people now going to the Keto Academy and our Prove It conferences who literally they have to do a ketogenic diet. Like scientifically, like you, Dr. Heather, it makes a difference in their way of living with the medical conditions that they have. So yeah, right on. And someday I may have to. I don't know what's going to happen in my life, but I do know how to heal things because I've seen thousands of you doing it with that diet and lifestyle. So I've got a big question here that I've been just more and more running across. And by the way, these are great question. Thanks for asking them. Thanks for participating. So for, people like me, I had a girl the other day say, well, I don't feel like I should take my ketones if I'm going to go, eat carbs. And there are guys, I mean, personally, I work with some of the world's top strength and conditioning coaches, bodybuilders in this industry who are eating 300 carbs a day and on a low fat diet. They're still taking the exogenous ketones. Dr. Heather, will you explain, number one, in the energy Krebs cycle, what your body's going to utilize and what other benefits you can get from the ketones, even if you aren't, living low carb?
Yeah. So for the athletes, we know that every time you work out, you're causing trauma on your body. You're causing inflammation. You're tearing down lean muscle mass. The question is, how do you recover after you break it down? Well, recovery depends on what you fed your body the last 96 hours or 30 days. So using exogenous ketones before a healthy diet, it's going to give more oxygen at that cellular level to the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse for our body. It offers more ATP. Instead of having to have, 15 tablespoons of coconut oil, wait for your digestive process to happen, wait to go through fatty acid oxidation, or go through gluconeogenesis if you're eating too much protein, you get your energy within 20 minutes without additional stress on our digestive tract. So your skeletal muscles being stressed out, mentally you're being taxed when you're working out. So it's a win-win situation. So if you're using ketones, again, we've studied the benefits for almost 100 years, guys. Like 1920, we started studying this. The data and studies show cardiovascular support from 2008. So 10 years now we've seen this on Life magazine. It's not a secret. It's finally just hitting the world, I think, because we have a computer and we can take hold of it and be our own advocates and not be trapped in a socialized society of medicine. We can Google things, we can help it. But again, along with media and a lot of other the leading thinkers out there with healthy diet, healthy gut biome, I mean, ebooks are popping up every day about people doing ketogenic diet for autism, ketogenic diet for Alzheimer's, ketogenic diet for cancer. So the question was, how can I, or why would I take it if I know I'm just going to go overeat and overdrink? But think about this. How many of you actually go to a Mexican restaurant and have 4 chips and stop? Or do you have 2 or 3 bowls because you're waiting for your food? I've watched people's food and behavior. Most of us just keep eating, or you don't have 6 chips. You don't have 2 ounces of pasta. You have, oh, another breadstick. But what we do know based on some of Dr. Beach's preliminary studies, in the presence of exogenous ketones, our body actually elicits less insulin, which makes less glucose. We also know it turns off our craving or addictive proteins in our body. So maybe you can, again, you're going to go to a Mexican restaurant and just have 4 or 5 chips instead of 3 or 4 bowls. And that's what my husband's notices. He can just stop when he's full. We generally don't stop when we're full because it takes 20 minutes for our stomach to tell our brain we're full. So generally people say, I'll wait till the holiday, I'll wait till here. Don't wait. Your body needs energy every day. Your brain functions even while you're sleeping. So feed your brain what our native fuel source is.
I love it. And I know, Dr. Heather, I've already seen the question yesterday. I made Charlotte, the weather's getting a little cooler. I know I'm a huge fan of hot chocolate. I got a video on my wall where I made her a kid's hot chocolate and I put the non-caffeine Swiss cacao in it. But Dr. Heather, what about for children and young athletes or even pregnant and nursing moms? That's something I, hear a lot.
Yeah, so I love this. We know that babies are in ketosis at about 20 weeks. The ridiculous question is, why are we doing the glucose tolerance test at 24? I won't even go there because we know the guys are in ketosis, burning fat for fuel, but then we want to challenge the mom with all the sugar. So at 20 weeks, where babies are in ketosis, and as long as they're breastfed, babies are in ketosis. But think of the stress of moms getting up all night. If you're a brand new mom, maybe you're a 3rd or 4th time mom, and stress will actually decrease lactation. So many women have problem lactating that, ketones are amazing signalers for our brain to our hormones. I've seen it actually increase lactation. We know it reduces anxiety for especially a first-time mom or a mom getting up 20 times a day. So absolutely safe womb to tomb, safe for Charlotte, safe for my kiddos, safe for the neighbor's kiddos. It's our native fuel source. And the great thing is it's water soluble. So if you can't get too many because it doesn't store. Fat soluble things store in our body like vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. Those are fat soluble. Water soluble things like vitamin C and B, we simply just urinate out what we don't need. So it's safe for everyone womb to tomb. But I would do the caffeine free like you did with Charlotte.
Dr. Jamie Seaman, you have to read her comments there. And
Yeah.
by the way, Abigail Klutz, independent, prove it promoter. And so is Dr. Heather. So we're very passionate about the conversation and representing with the educational piece. I've got 5 minutes before I got to jump on a call, but Dr. Heather, something that I heard the other day was like, well, I'll just go to the store and buy some for cheap. Talk to us about cheap ketones and how not all ketones are made the same, and definitely not the $49.99 ones. They're going to be doing what you want to do.
So I'm going to talk about quality versus quantity, correct? So if you had if I did a blind study and I showed you a tablespoon of Crisco and a tablespoon of coconut oil, could you tell the difference? Probably not, right? They look white, right? But if we put Crisco in our body, it's an isomer, which means it's a different twist on the isomer, so our body actually can't absorb it, and it causes plaquing, causes high cholesterol, can cause gut disturbance. Where coconut oil is the right isomer our body can absorb. It helps with the immune system. It helps with blood sugar balance. It helps with so many amazing things. But again, they kind of look the same, right? So don't be deceived by looks. It is quality versus quantity. Coconut oil is far more expensive than Crisco, and you certainly don't have any health benefits from it. When we're talking about any supplementation, think about that cell we drew in 5th grade. I know Charlotte's not there, but you'll be drawing this soon. We have this phospholipid bilayer, and it's like a Tetris. We want to make things go into our cells so they absorb it and use it. But if you're making something that's hit or missing, like the Crisco, it just builds up on top. It doesn't get absorbed and used. So some of the lesser quality and maybe even have more quantity of beta hydroxybutyrate, but lesser quality, our body simply can't absorb. So you might feel something, but you're truly not getting your body into a state of ketosis. So I just tell you, do a double-blind study. Drink some of the other stuff on the market, see how you feel, measure your ketones, urine, blood, and breath, see what elevates them, what's so exciting. So again, I get the question, well, how many BHBs in there? I'm like, well, enough to put you in ketosis in less than an hour. If I ask my body to do it, it's going to take my body days or weeks or months. If I use something that my body can absorb, it doesn't matter. Just like you wouldn't go buy, everyone wants to buy grass-fed beef and high quality. People don't want 60%, whatever that was cooked out there, right? We don't want frozen fish out of a can. We want real healthy food. The same thing's true for all nutritional supplements. The quality and quantity, it is quality, quality, quality every time. So be your own little biohacker out there and see what happens to your brain.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. I love it. We had some other questions come up, and we will come back to you next Friday with some more keto debunks and answers. Thank you for taking the time to join us, Dr. Heather, and for all of you out here. Give some emojis if you liked it.
Well, thanks for having me on. I never know what you're going to ask, so I'm always a little bit nervous. But yeah, thank you. I'd love to talk about ketones anytime that I can.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, y'all. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Bye-bye.